Hi, my name is Zach Simmons, and this is Pro Football Today. So, with this show, we take a look at what new developments going on around the NFL. So, today I want to take a look at the AFC North in particular. So, I'll be giving you my predictions on how I think the season's going to go, how the standings are going to look, who's going to win division, and if there's any chance for the wildcard playoffs in the AFC North. So, looking at last place, I have the Cincinnati Bengals in last place, the AFC North. The main reason is there's not a lot of talent. They have Dalton, they have Mixon, but to be honest, those are their two best players on the team. AJ Green, Tyler Eifert, two starters, they've been banged up for the last couple seasons. So you got to take a look at the depth. So for tight end, they have Uzuma, who has been the third string for most of the time. And at receiver, they have Tyler Boyd and John Ross, two first-round picks that really just have not panned out lately. So you're asking a lot of all these guys that really haven't done too much. And then you look at the offensive line. There's nothing really special about this offensive line. Then on the defensive side of things, there's not really anything special. I don't see any it factor there on the defense. So really, this is a team that just doesn't have that talent. Next year, if they were to spend a lot on free agency, do a good job drafting, this is a team that could see the playoffs in 2020. It's not a stretch. They have a good base team, but the problem is they just don't have the playmakers for 2019. And then you add in Zach Taylor, rookie head coach. There's really nothing for him to really work with. He's got to be a really, really good head coach for the Bengals to make it out of last place, even to make it to third place. It's going to take a lot of work by Zach Taylor. So, yeah, Bengals will be at fourth place. Just not a lot of room, not a lot of stuff going on there. Now, third place, this is a little controversial, but I have the Baltimore Ravens. Now, you can say, but didn't they just didn't they make playoffs last year? Didn't they win division last year? Just because a team wins division one year doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs the next year. And looking at the Ravens, that's what I see. This is a team that was strong last year, but they lost a lot of their pieces, especially on their defense, which was their strong suit. Say what you will about Lamar Jackson, but that offense is not the strong suit for the Ravens. It was the defense. So to lose Mosley, to lose Smith, to lose Suggs, to lose basically your entire starting linebacking core, and then replace them with almost nothing. You have Shane Ray, who really hasn't shown up at all, replacing one linebacker. On one side, you have Pernell McPhee, who has had a really good career, but is a little past his prime. Start at the other side. And then I don't even know who's going to be playing middle linebacker, but I can tell you they're not going to be able to replace CJ Mosley. The one good thing that they've done, the one thing I really like what the Ravens have done, is to let go of Eric Weddle and bring in Earl Thomas. But other than that, that's about it. This Ravens team, I think, is a little worse than it was before. And I don't think Lamar's going to take that extra jump that you see a lot of second-year quarterbacks take. He doesn't have any weapons around him. They lost John Brown. They lost Michael Crabtree. Willie Snead is now the number one receiver. Now, when Willie Snead is your number one receiver, that should raise some red flags. He's a great, great slot, but he should not be playing at the number one spot. So, yeah, the Ravens, there's too many losses. Too many losses on offense, too many losses on defense. A lot of question marks about the running back core. Yeah, they got Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram was great 2 years ago, but he's an older back. He's obviously a committee back. That's why they brought him in. You have Kenneth Dixon, who tore his ACL a couple years back. You have Gus Edwards, who looked pretty good. But there's just a lot of question marks about this Ravens running back core. Who's going to be the starter? Are they going to be able to help out Lamar Jackson at all? Now there's reports saying Lamar Jackson's not going to run as much. I thought that was his strong suit. I don't like his arm. So for them to depend more on his arm, yeah, I don't see them winning as many games. I don't see them making the playoffs like they did last season. So Baltimore Ravens, number 3. Say what you will, but I'm pretty sure we will not be seeing the Ravens this postseason. Now, number 2. Now, there's a lot of hype surrounding the Cleveland Browns that the Browns will go from 6-10 to number 1. I can see that happening. Bears did it last year. It can happen, but I think it's safer to say that Cleveland will be number 2 at a potential wild card contender. Now, you can say they got Baker. Baker looks really good. He had a great rookie season, one of the best rookie quarterback seasons of all time. And now this is his second year with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. This looks like a monster offense. Looking at the running back core, you have Nick Chubb, Duke Johnson, and Kareem Hunt. 3 of them are very, very good running backs. So this is a team, this is an offense that can easily destroy their opponents. Defense is not as strong. It's a good defense, not an elite defense. Not a top 10 defense, I would say. But this is a good defense that will help them. Especially their offense is as strong as what they look. So they look really good. They look like a playoff contender. But the problem is, it's the Cleveland Browns. They have looked good in the past. And they've completely disappointed. Now, I know this is a new head coach. This isn't Hugh Jackson. This is still a rookie head coach. I love Freddie Kitchens. But you're looking at a guy who's been a position coach his entire career until last year when he was thrown in as the offensive coordinator for the last half of the season. And now he's the head coach. Things are going very, very fast for Freddie Kitchens. Going from running backs coach, most of his career as a running backs coach / tight ends coach, going from that to offensive coordinator for a few weeks, for half the season. And then going from that to being the head coach. That's a pretty quick process there for Freddie Kitchens. So will he be able to succeed as a coach, or is this something we started with San Fran a few years back with Jim Tomsula? It's going to take the first few weeks for those questions to be answered. So for right now, I think it's safer to say they're number 2. The Ravens have a shot to take them out and to go up to number 2, but I think it's safe to say Cleveland has that spot locked in. It's up to Freddie Kitchens. It's not up to Baker Mayfield. It's not up to Odell Beckham. It's up to Freddie Kitchens if they're going to be division winners. So there's still hope in Cleveland. I love the underdog story. I really want to see Cleveland pull this off. But when it comes to predictions, when it comes to making the right prediction, it's definitely a safer bet to put Cleveland down at number 2 instead of number 1. Now number 1, the only team remaining, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you can say, but you just had the Ravens at number 3. They had a lot of losses. Well, the Steelers have had a lot of losses. How do you have them winning, even though they were second place last year, didn't even make playoffs? It's because they replaced the players they lost very, very well. So they lost Le'Veon Bell. That was a hit. But the thing is, they lost him last year. They have James Conner, who is a great back. He's about a step behind Le'Veon. He's not as good, but he still filled that role, and he filled it very, very well. Then when he got hurt, you have Jalen Samuels coming in, playing a little bit better than James Conner. So they have 2 running backs who can fill in that spot. Pittsburgh will be in a good spot when it comes to running backs. Even though they lost Le'Veon Bell, they're still in a very good spot. Now they lost Antonio Brown. How are they going to be able to replace Antonio Brown? Well, once again, they pretty much did last season. Juju Smith-Schuster had a fantastic season and can easily play as number 1 receiver. It's more of a question, do they have anyone to replace Juju? Which I think they do. You have James Washington, who had a good season last year. Could have been better, but being the number 3 receiver, it's really hard to do stuff there in Pittsburgh. So now that he's number 2, or could be the number 2, but it's between him and Moncrief. Washington, I think, has a big potential, good potential to be that number 2 receiver alongside Juju. And they also have Dante Moncrief. Moncrief is a solid number 2. He should be fine as number 2. So no matter what, Pittsburgh, they're in a really good spot. They probably should have made playoffs last year. But now that Bell's gone, Brown's gone, there's not, and the locker room's a little bit better than it was before. They're a little bit tighter. Because of that chemistry, I can see him pulling away. Because really, that's what really lost him for him. They lost their chemistry in the last few games. And they basically self-destructed. So now that Bell's gone, now that Brown's gone, they should be able to reevaluate and get back into the game. So watch Pittsburgh. win division this year. If they don't win division, they should be able to make wild card. So Pittsburgh and can't believe I'm saying this, but Cleveland, two playoff contenders there in the AFC North. So for recap, we have the Bengals at number 4 because of lack of talent and because of a new rookie head coach coming in with that lack of talent. And number 3, we have the Baltimore Ravens not making playoffs because of the losses they've had on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and also a lack of putting people around Lamar Jackson to help him out. And then number 2, we have Cleveland Browns, a potential playoff contender, mainly because of all the stuff they've done, grabbing Odell Beckham, really putting a lot of talent around Baker Mayfield. The only reason they're not number 1 is Freddie Kitchens. That and their 6-10 record before. You're looking for a large jump with a rookie head coach. A lot of times it's going to be improbable. We saw it before with McVay, we started with Nagy, but we're asking a lot of Freddie Kitchens, who has only spent half a season as a coordinator. And then number 1, we have Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh really hasn't gone down too much. In fact, I think they'll do better this season than they did last season. With the losses they've had, they're able to replace them very efficiently and in-house as well, which is something you don't usually see. So overall, that's what we have. So tune in next week as we'll take a look at the AFC East. Will the Patriots be the number 1 team again? I mean, I know it's the Patriots, but there's always a chance. Looking at the other 3 teams, did the Jets find their guy in Adam Gase? Will he be the guy to help out Sam Darnold? Was Josh Rosen the answer for Miami to win division? Or did the Buffalo Bills do a really good job at putting talent around Josh Allen for them to get it? We'll find out next week.